we had no running water, and the Littlewell was the well on the reserve that actually supplied the many of our people that lived on the reserve with fresh water, and that well still exists today, and so does the reserve. So from that tin humpy that grandfather built, we graduated to 2 bedrooms and cement floors, and we thought we was top of the class, like living way up there in this flash house now. And again, there was no air conditioning, no insulation, just tin side, walls, roof, cement floors, and a fence around each house. And there's 10, they built, I say they as in housing, built 10 homes for our mob to graduate from dirt floors, tin humpies to 2-bedroom homes.
I think this room was bigger than our kitchen and lounge all put together.
There was no such thing as a lounge, Kathy. There was only the kitchen and 2 bedrooms, and the veranda was our lounge.
Yeah, to make it lounge.
yeah. And because where I sit, I guess, come 14 children.
In a 2-bedroom.
I remember sleeping at the back of the house on the old cyclone beds.
Yeah.
And to go to the toilet at night time, there was only 1 toilet, 2 showers, male, females, for 150, 200 people.
Speaking of cyclone beds now.
You was called what we call dithery, to go to court frightened. Night time to go for kumbu, go toilet. But you had to run there, run back, otherwise that boogeyman will get you, what we call featherfoot. Took me back to Mingenew days and reminded me when we sat around the campfire listening to all the old people yarning, and when they get to the ghosty side of things, make a cold but next time we was looking back to you wait for that person that yeah, and the corroboree we do the yumby that in the middle of the reserve. With Mingenew, there's 10 slabs of 2-bedroom homes in a circle, and in the centre we had a tank. We had that runned off the big tank from the well. Then it supplied 1 tap each, and after we converted from the well to having 1 tap each on the 2-bedroom homes. And in the middle of there, we'd have entertainment. We'd have sing-alongs, we'd have campfire, we'd do the corroboree, and it was you were creative. You create entertainment for yourselves to keep you occupied. You were never bored.
I think my big brother, going back, they were still playing cowboys and Indians.
That's right. Yeah, over the line.
Yeah,
train line from the reserve.
And those things, the railway lines you used to use for guns?
Yeah, when they're doggers, they put the sleepers in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used them for guns.
They still played cowboys and Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chase each other around, crawl boy in the scrub over there.
Yeah, and I remember playing.
Even ging fight, we used to have
Then
from
the
the nuts.
plastic guns coming out then.
Yeah.
With the things.
Sneaking up one another, ready to shoot each other. Then we'd have a nut fight then, and paddy melon fight. We used to sting each other up, but that was entertainment for us. You never had revenge or fight over things. You challenge each other, but then you suffer the consequences. If you get hit with a paddy melon, well, you duck too late, or you get shun over it again, well, you duck too late, so you accept that. And what about the train line? When you need to listen.
Yeah, we used to put pennies on, so every time the train would come, the pennies would run over it. They'd run over the pennies and flatten it out. Well, we go to the railway line and put our ears on the line. Nothing coming out. Yeah, the long thing.
And getting back to that accommodation business, them flash ones, no air conditions, no insulation, very hot in the summertime. From the 2-bedroom, our people moved from the reserve, the Littlewell, into town and into 3 bedrooms, where we had insulation and no air conditioning again, but we graduated from 2-bedroom into 3 bedrooms. And this is why now, I'm going back to 1976, many of our people were ours in Mingenew, but also close by in Geraldton, and that's how come the reserve became vacant of no, and I guess from my experience with Mum and Dad moving into town on Eleanor Street, like you say, the street across the road from the railway station. Again, you're right, Kathy. We became like a family to the people in town. There was none of this prejudice going on, or it wasn't a black and white thing. It was about a welcoming thing of acceptance of us as human beings and them as human beings, them as the non-Aboriginal people as human beings. And because it was a matter of the assimilation of coming from humpies into 2-bedroom homes on the reserve, living like, I guess, you know, the amazing thing I found with my father's own family, we were treated as what I call jaja people, rubbish people, because the sad thing about that was my father's family became prejudiced of their own people. And Dad moved in with his in-laws in Mingenew, away from his family. And the hurt part about where I see it, we hear so much about the stolen generation, and I don't take that down too well, because I'm a third generation of a stolen generation. And if we continue on using the assimilation or genocide or native welfare or government politics and procedures as an excuse for our behaviour, at the end of the day, we're not going to achieve anything. We're not going to go anywhere in this trip that we're living on this earth. So, from my experience as the third generation of my grandfather, grandmother, my grandmother had a child in Moore River. Our grandmother, Emily Brockman, had a child, only Irene, at Moore River. My father went in there, Bynder, and Josie. My mother went into Nunorsha. And my brothers and sisters, I was a probationary state of a ward of the state, and I'm the eldest of 14 children, and I guess I've got a lot of weight to carry. I've got a lot of, I need to continue on that role model in a good way, to be the person that represent Aboriginal people and my people, and lead the way into where we're going with this Littlewell. Then protect and hang on to our heritage, cultural identity, so that the future generation can enjoy. So from my experience, and you're right, Kathy, on Anzac Day I went back to Mingenew. I was invited by the Mingenew Shire to go and talk on behalf of the Aboriginal people that were in the army from Mingenew and in the labour force. And I came up with names for the Shire to put on the reef that I laid for the Aboriginal people on the 26th of April. And these are some of the good experiences that coming out of, I guess, I'm not big note myself, but I have passion for the future of our next generation to enjoy, and for Aboriginal people. And I think education helped me do this. And decided when I left school at year 8, later on in life I decided, as I mentioned previously, I decided to go back and get a degree to help me to talk the lingo that government talks. Otherwise, if we don't do that, we might just go and lay down in the curb and die, because we're of no use to ourselves beside our people. And again, getting back to this anger business, I find there's no point in getting angry. If we're smart people and clever, we can get involved in the system and change it, which I did as a senior officer of Aboriginal Services, working with Department for Native Welfare and the Child Protection for 15 years. I was working at a senior level, and I made a difference in people's lives, and including 5 years now that I've worked with the Aboriginal Reserve. I felt there was a need for someone to step up and to get involved in the politics that's involved to protect what we're losing. And I guess when I die, I want to leave a legacy behind, and that is the reserve. That's my baby. It's an embryo stage, and our baby, and the people that are around us, I guess.
Aboriginal people.
on Anzac Day, on the 26th of April this year, I met a few of my old schoolmates. They come up talking to me. And one fellow said he used to come and play dougs, marbles on the thing. Johnny Newton said he used to come to the reserve and play dougs. So they're coming up with stories of their experience. And that sort of, and I said to Johnny, I spoke with him by phone yesterday, and I said, Johnny, Minnie, you don't lose it. Lose what? I said, their friendliness, their welcoming. And Minnie, hang on to that, because Minnie remind me of the friendliness that exist back in the days, and they've still got it. And the people are so friendly and inviting, and need to hang on to that.